made these 4 photos on 4 different film stocks. All expired, all long discontinued. The oldest one expired 25 years ago. Come along with me on a sunny weekend in London as I try them out. The results, honestly, they turned out way better than I expected.
Hi there, welcome to today's video. So it's Saturday and it's super hot and super sunny today. I think we should get like 30 degrees here in London. I'm in Battersea Park, and what I want to do today is try out a few different expired film stocks. So over the winter and basically last year I bought quite a few different expired film stocks, but the issue is most of them are like Fuji NPS 160. So most of them are either 160 ISO or 100 ISO films, and they're expired for quite a while now, so over a decade. And for expired film, the rule of thumb is doing 1 stop overexposure per decade. So it's a helicopter flying. So yeah, the rule of thumb is that you overexpose 1 stop per decade. So let's say an ISO 100 film, like I have here somewhere, Superia 100. Yeah, so this Superia 100 is expired like 2009, so over 10 years ago. So the rule of thumb should be at least 1 step over. So this ISO 100 film becomes ISO 50 basically. And here in the UK, it's basically impossible to shoot ISO 50 film during the winter. And as I thought today is super sunny, harsh daylight. It is the perfect day for shooting these lower ISO films. And what I want to do is not only shoot them, but do like a little exposure test, because when I buy expired film, I make sure to buy like at least 3 or 5 rolls of it. So that has the advantage that you can experiment with the first roll. So you can do like a little exposure test, so expose it at, I don't know, 150, 25 ISO, and then see what results you like the most, and then you know what kind to expect, because otherwise it's always a little gamble with expired film. And I would never basically shoot anything important. I'm too scared to like take a expired roll, 20 years expired, onto like a trip to Wales, for example, and just trust that it will somehow come out. So the films I have with me today, the first one is Superia 100 from Fujifilm, Fuji Color Superia 100. Expired in 2009. Then another Fuji Color Fujifilm stock, NPS 160, expired in 2006. Then I shot these in the past, but not from this batch. It's Fujifilm Reala 100, expired in 2000, so 25 years ago. That could be interesting. And then I have one Kodak Portra stock. And before the Kodak Portra range, which is quite new in film terms, I would say, there was this Kodak Portra VC and NC, I think for vivid color and natural color, or neutral color maybe. And this was basically the predecessor to Kodak Portra. And I have a roll of Kodak Portra 160 vivid or vibrant colors VC 160, expired in 2001. For the camera, I have to match the Fuji stocks, I have my Fuji GS645W. So this is a 645 medium format camera, rather compact, super lightweight. It is a 28mm equivalent lens, so it's a 45mm lens, 28 equivalent, f5.6. Yeah, as I think about it now, maybe it's not the best choice, this camera, for such a test, because with f5.6 I need quite a bit of light. So yeah, on the other hand, I can hold quite still with 28mm. So yeah, let's see how that will turn out today. Maybe I want to try some portraits. It's nothing I usually shoot portraits, but today maybe I'm heading to a picnic later with a few photography friends, so it might be a good option to shoot a bit of portraits there. And because this is zone focusing only, I brought, and I will try this out for the first time today, a Vogtländer rangefinder. So it's a little device, goes on your cold shoe, and then basically you rangefinder as you would with any other rangefinder camera, and then a little dial on the back tells you the focus distance, and then you can set the focus distance on the camera. So this should make it more accurate, so I'm able to shoot at 5.6 with close focus. I get 15 exposures per roll with the Fuji camera. So that's quite nice, because then I can like waste 5 shots on a little exposure test and still have like 10 photos to play around with. let's think about the first stock I will shoot. And I feel like, yeah, I want to try out Superia 100 first, because the NPS, as far as understood from my research, they are more like made for portraits. So maybe try out these later when I can shoot some portraits, and start with the Superia 100 first. It's expired in 2009, so 16 years ago basically. Yeah, I just double checked because I never shot like low ISOs with this camera. So I checked it supports up to the internal light meter. I mean, can go down to ISO 25. Okay, so I'm good with that. So yeah, let's load that roll. Okay, 2009. I should make a photo of that just so I remember what I actually shot. I'm always looking out on eBay, probably too often, for like expired film stocks. And what I look out for is basically that I can, as I said, get a batch of like at least three rolls, maybe 4 or 5 rolls, even better, from the same batch, and hope that they were stored in similar conditions. I think you can usually get, if you buy like 5 rolls, you can usually get it for like 5, 6, 7 pounds a roll. So that's what I usually pay. So whenever I see a box of 5, so for example from the Superia I just loaded, see a box of 5 and it's around that 5 to 6 pound, maybe 7 pounds if I really want it per roll, then I think that's decent. I spotted this little fun fair over there. It's a Ferris wheel, and I think you can see Battersea Power Station, and from certain angles you can also see the shot in the background. So I thought that might be a good first photo, also for like a little exposure test.
I'm really impressed with how well these photos turned out. The colors look great, especially considering this roll expired 16 years ago. There's barely any difference between the 3 exposures, so I could probably rate this stock at box speed. But to be safe, I will shoot future rolls probably at ISO 50. Definitely off to a great start. I love how the reds pop and the contrast against the blue sky looks brilliant.
Few frames in, I'm on frame 7, so 6 frames already done. I think the next shot will be of this water fountain here. Okay, next exposure test done with a lovely scene over the Thames with a few boats in the foreground, and then with some lovely houses in the background.
Again, with this exposure test, I couldn't really tell a difference between the different exposures, so ISO 50 it is for my future rolls. The last few frames from this roll are my favorites. They really capture that classic summer vibe in London's parks.
Okay, first roll done, first roll of expired film. Superia 100. And yeah, I think I'm now heading from Battersea Park to probably Hyde Park to meet my friends and fellow photographers for a little picnic today. That will be lovely. Maybe some opportunities to try out some portraits. Again, something I'm not usually doing often. I filled the bottle with ice cubes and water. It's ice cold, it's so nice.
After finishing the first roll of the weekend, I took the bus from Battersea to Hyde Park to meet up with everyone at a picnic Zino organized.
Okay, I loaded the second roll, second expired roll. This time Fuji color NPS 160, which should have like a natural color look, good for portraits. And the first thing I want to do behind me at the lake in Hyde Park, I want to test out and do like a little exposure test. So it's expired in 2005, so theoretically 2 stops over from that rule of thumb. So we'll just try it out and see. I think I will take one at ISO 100, one at 50 and one at 25 again to get these 3 stops to test out. And yeah, so really curious to see how it will perform. Again, no idea for this stock how it was stored.
Exposing this roll at ISO 50 turned out to be a good decision. The colors look natural and balanced, perfect for portraits in my opinion. The light at the picnic was so beautiful, so I took a few portraits of Alex and Zino. Shooting at ISO 50 with the Fuji was a bit of a challenge, but I think those first few frames turned out beautifully. You'd never guess this film expired 20 years ago, in my opinion. Feeling in the portrait mood, I also snapped 2 photos of my wife, and they are some of my favorites, of course. NPS is definitely a fantastic stock for portraits, and I can't wait to shoot more of it very soon. After finishing the picnic, we slowly made our way back home, finishing the roll with a few shots around Hyde Park and Clapham Common, ending the day with some amazing pizza. The next morning I did what just about every photographer in London does on a sunny Sunday. I headed to Columbia Road Flower Market. On my way there, I chatted with Steve and we decided to meet up around the market.
Yesterday I noticed that I messed up the test because I was on NPS 160, which is an ISO 160 film, but I treated it as ISO 100. So when I thought I do ISO 100, I thought I doing it like box speed, but obviously I already overexposed it. So yeah, let's see. So for today, I have another roll of NPS 160 from another batch basically, so from 2006 instead of 2005, and a roll of Portra 160 VC. First of all, I will load this roll, Fujifilm Reala 100. ISO 100 film, expired in 2000, so again, rule of thumb would say 2 stops over ISO 25, but I will just stretch my luck and see if I can get usable results with ISO 50. Flower Market is super busy every Sunday basically, and especially like now at 12 o'clock. So I'm not sure how good of a results I will get.
I kicked off the roll of Reala with a portrait of Steve metered at ISO 50, and honestly, again, I was blown away. The colors look stunning and I never would have guessed that this film expired 25 years ago. Seems like I got extremely lucky with that batch, considering that I have no idea how it was stored before I got it. We wandered up and down Columbia Road for a bit, but it was packed that day, so we quickly decided to just move on to a less busy area. After a quick snack, we walked towards Hoxton Station and visited the Museum of the Home. It's a lovely place that showcases British interiors from different eras. However, everything inside is dimly lit, not exactly ideal for ISO 50 film. Still, I managed to get a few solid shots by staying really still and using anything I could as a makeshift tripod. These low light, high shadow scenes are usually where expired film really struggles, but to my surprise, Reala held up really well. Once again, I was super impressed by the results. One of the highlights of the museum is the beautiful garden, with Hoxton Station in the background, which is where I run another exposure test with this roll. You can clearly see how the images improve when overexposing by 1 or even 2 stops. While +2 looks the best, I'll stick to ISO 50 just for the ease of shooting compared to ISO 25. I finished the roll with 2 more shots around the garden, which I really like. This roll is really nice.
The best thing about these Fuji rolls is the other Fuji rolls had like a little sticker you could pull, so you don't have to lick it.
So the best thing is not the thing you've got now.
Yeah.
You've got to lick a 20-year-old.
Okay, so next up is Kodak Portra 160 VC from July 2001. So 24 years. I mean, theoretically it should be again like 2.5 stops over.
70 and half of 70.
I mean, I like that they had yellow backing paper.
Yeah, that's plain.
Actually, I do the exposure test one more time with
With the 160,
yeah, with the same scene.
Yeah, see the colours come out.
Yeah, I see the different colors. Because I quite liked that scene. And you have different colors in that scene.
Yeah.
You have a bit of shade.
Silver, sky.
Yeah, you have a little bit of everything. So it should be a good test scene.
This roll of Kodak Portra 160 VC shows how much overexposing can help expired film. The frame shot at box speed, pretty much unusable, but when overexposed by 3 or 4 stops, the results improve dramatically. Unfortunately though, after the test I forgot to adjust the meter and accidentally exposed the next few frames at box speed, ISO 160. I tried to salvage them during editing, but you can clearly tell the shadows are muddy and the colors are way off. Once I caught the mistake, I ran another quick exposure test comparison just to see how it will turn out, and again overexposing made all the difference. While Portra didn't amaze me like the Fuji stocks before, I'm still happy with most of these shots. After finishing the last roll, Steve and I hopped on what felt like a mobile sauna of a bus towards Whitechapel. I couldn't wait to see if the photos had actually turned out, so we went straight to 21 Studio Photo Lab, which is my go-to photo lab in London. Chris at 21 got to work developing all 4 rolls immediately, and I was really relieved seeing they all came out. All scans were done at 21 Studio on an Aritsu film scanner, and except for the exposure tests, all photos were gently edited in Lightroom. I'm honestly blown away by these results. I always praise for the worst with expired film, so it was a great surprise to see how well they all held up. Fuji Reala was definitely my favorite overall, with Fuji NPS 160 as my top pick for portraits. I'm really excited to shoot the rest of these batches and, most importantly, to keep experimenting with more expired film in the future. Thank you so much for following me on this little expired film adventure. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a thumbs up or subscribing to my channel. It really helps. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers!
Thank you.